Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft is our newest D&D 5e book releasing in May. Let's talk about it. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got, as of a couple hours ago, our first official announcement on Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, the next D&D 5e book coming after Candlekeep Mysteries, set to release in May. So for those of you who are looking to just get the Cliff Notes, Spark Notes version of this, you just want to get right into the numbers real quick. We're just going to quickly go over these before we dive in a little bit deeper into some of the articles that were published around this, and I can give my thoughts on all of those. So, travel perhaps by choice to familiar domains or discover new ones, as Ravenloft's expanded Domains of Dread return for the first time in 5th edition, includes rules and advice for building custom domains and Dark Lords using established horror tropes or your own special blend. So there are currently 30 advertised to be put in this book. We don't know what all of them are. We do have a couple, but there are going to be 30 micro campaign settings for you to use in this book. Discover a new host of backgrounds and trinkets themed specifically for the horror setting, as well as new character lineages, including the Dampier, Hexblood, and Reborn. So the undead lineages races that we got in the latest Unearthed Arcana actually are already coming to print. This is the fastest turnaround time I think we've ever seen in 5th edition, so this is fantastic to see as a good precedent for the future. Find 2 new subclasses, the College of Spirits, Bard, and the Undead Pact for Warlocks. So only 2 new subclasses coming in this book. If you guys want to see my thoughts of the Unearthed Arcana that these were introduced in, you can check out the link somewhere up here. I'll leave a link to it right up there. Long story short, I was very excited to see the Undead Warlock type coming out, so good to see that coming in this book. Explore dark gifts for characters that flesh out your place in the domains of dread. So dark gifts are looking to be your power for a price mechanic. Very nice. Encounter a horrific assortment of creatures from the monstrous bestiary. Well, us forever DMs are always happy to get new monsters to run. And it includes a full brand new adventure. So for a recap, the book is 256 pages long. It features 30 new and reimagined realms from the Ravenloft Multiverse packages as micro campaign settings for your campaign. So the best thing I can compare this to would probably be the Tal'Dorei campaign setting, which featured a lot of the really tiny, like single page, double paged settings from Exandria, the Critical Role campaign setting. So this is probably going to be similar to what that looks like. Dark gifts, which are traits that can help connect a player with the setting and its themes. Power for a price, pretty solid there. Dampier, Hexblood, and Reborn, all 3 of the Gothic lineages are coming back that were introduced in the Unearthed Arcana. So if you want to see my video again on those, if you want to see the Unearthed Arcana video on those, I will link to it up here if you want to see what those are probably going to look like. And the book is going to be releasing May 18th, 2021. Now, really quick note on here, the alt cover looks really nice, but there is currently, at the current time, no link to buy it. So I've already looked around. I can't seem to find anywhere on Amazon or any other publisher's storefront right now. So we'll just have to wait and see when that comes up. I'll probably make a quick community post linking to the alt cover when it becomes available. So look out for that. But those are all the basic details of Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. So now we can jump in to an article that I was reading talking a bit further about these settings and what's coming in the book, so we can get a bit more of an idea of what to expect. So this was the article from Inverse talking about Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. They describe it as the sequel to the best D&D book ever. The upcoming Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, due out May 18th from Wizards of the Coast, will return to Barovia for more stories about the vampire Dark Lord Strahd, but its loftier focus on expanding D&D's most terrifying campaigns to include many types of horror beyond the Gothic. Riffs on subgenres like the zombie apocalypse, slasher horror, Frankenstein, cosmic terrors, urban legends, and even battle royales. Interesting. How do you get out of this domain when you are being hunted not just by a powerful Dark Lord who has packs of displacer beasts, but an entire domain as a deadly rainforest? Lead designer described it as, in the violent forests of Kalkiri, players will have to scavenge for supplies and fight for their lives like it's Fortnite or Call of Duty Warzone during Halloween season. I feel like this is just using buzzwords. It's probably not going to play out like that, but we'll have to see. Anyone familiar with Strahd's Kingdom of Barovia may know it's one of the many domains of dread within Ravenloft, which itself is a demiplane of dread hidden within the Shadowfell by an ominous mist. Yes, these vibes are similar to the Dark Souls video games. Huh! Well, if you're also looking for monsters to run of this type of game, I just so happen to have a very large monster manual created by me Okay, I'm done. But Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft will smash the door to Ravenloft open wide, allowing players to venture forth and explore 30 new domains, each with a unique kind of horror. So horror's the name. Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft is the game. So skipping down a little bit, we have this little tag here. At some tables, you're bound to see a lot more violence, madness, and gore than your typical game. Some groups may simply crave more frightening experience at their table, but that isn't the case for everyone who might want to play Curse of Strahd or Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. Horror does not need to mean an R-rated experience. You do not need to bring your parents with you to this D&D experience. Horror can be Scooby-Doo or Ghostbusters, adventure, mystery, suspense, not gory and visceral. Among many other things, this new book will teach DMs how to move in either direction to suit the group's preferences. So you got kids, you want your kids to play the game, probably going to be fine here. It's not going to be pigeonholed into true gothic horror, so to speak. So the book is 256 pages long and is presented as a correspondence between Rudolph Van Richten and other heroes in Ravenloft like Esmeralda de Avenir and the Weathermay Foxgrove twins. It's therefore closer to a campaign setting book like Eberron Rising from the Last War, mixed with the first-person flavor of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, so you're going to get a little bit of both in there. Then it is a narrative-focused book like Descent into Avernus, but there's still a 20-page adventure called The House of Lament that weaves together many different domains like a whirlwind tour of horror. One of the game designers promises that this book is going to provide a direct through line from Curse of Strahd, but the main draw here is the fully fleshed out resource from those 30 new domains of dread, each with its own supervillain to match Strahd. We are going to be getting 30 big bads just like Strahd. Sounds fantastic. There's some really nice art here. Some of the domains of dread might feel eerily familiar for fans such as Lamordia, which explores the horror of experimentation on creating undead beings from deceased body parts by Dr. Victor Mordenheim. Other horrors include the surreal fairy tale masquerades of Dement Liu, treachery in the war-torn rainforest of Kalkiri, which we talked about earlier, and the endless zombie hordes of Falkovnia. Schneider describes Dement Liu as being trapped in an endless masquerade with a ghostly Red Death meets Cinderella vibe, in which we might call a macabre fairy tale. If every domain is a horror funhouse, Lamordia is the Frankenstein country with mad scientists, flesh golems, and horrible science gone wrong against a hostile snowy background. What happens when there are more zombies than fireballs? He says of Falkovnia. How does that impact society? Vlad Drakov, a ruthless mercenary resembling the real-life Vlad the Impaler that most Dracula myths are based on, is Falkovnia's Dark Lord. He may be in the domain's last hope of surviving against the overwhelming hordes. In another domain rooted in Indian folklore, rival forces are at war for control, and we see all manner of undead in domains as well, including mummies. So this book is certainly a horror fan's golden ticket itself. So many different options to choose from. There is an entire chapter that defines how domains of dread and their dark lords function, along with ways to create custom versions of each. It breaks down the different types of horror so that dungeon masters can craft their own bespoke nightmare. Endless replayability. Fantastic. Among many helpful resources for establishing the tone is a mechanic called Dark Gifts. Players can create more terrifying characters with dark gifts that provide role-playing ties to the domain of dread by bestowing benefits that may have a deadly cost. This mechanic seems familiar to Eberron's Dragon Marks, except rather than a magical tattoo that bestows minor magical benefits, a dark gift will augment a character's background to connect them specifically to the domain of dread that offers mechanical benefits while infusing them with an extra touch of horror. Nothing further on examples of what that's going to look like, so we will have to see on book release. Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft also expands some of the game-changing lineage rules presented in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything that expands the potential races and backgrounds that players can give their characters. The Gothic lineages presented in the Unearthed Arcana from just last month appear in the book, offering the Dampier, half vampire, half human, Hexblood, descended from a hag, and Reborn, a person brought back from the dead, as playable options. The turnaround time of these classes, or these races, these lineages, from playtesting to full print is pretty quick. Now, granted, the book is still 3 months out from now, so they could do some tweaking in it, but it sounds like they already know what they've planned to do. So this does set a really good precedent for future printings of lineages, which is exciting to see for how much content we get down the line. Similarly, the College of Spirits subclass for the Bard and the Undead Pact for Warlock, both of which appeared in the August 2020 UA, appear in this book, allowing for both classes to lean into the dark necromancy than ever before. So that is what we have for Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. That is all the information we currently have at our disposal. If anything changes, I'll be sure to make either a video or a community post talking about any changes that we know of. Maybe we'll finally get a link to buy the alt cover of the book because it looks really good. But a quick side note before we end this video is because this book is designed as a more of a campaign setting or multiple campaign settings that you drag and drop into your games, I will be reviewing this book mainly over on my Twitch stream where I'm going to be running adventures from this book. Specifically, I will be running the 20-page main adventure from this book as soon as it comes out over on my Twitch with a group of people. We're going to run that game, and after we are done running that game, however long it takes, that is when I will be able to fully review that aspect of this book. Of course, when the book fully comes out, I will be doing reviews on every single aspect of it as it comes out. I'll be doing all the subclasses, all the new lineages, depending on what changes. I will also go over the dark gifts, and I'll do a general overview of the settings, but it will be kind of hard to review the settings until I actually play them, which again will be done over on the Twitch stream. So be sure to follow over there to not miss that when it comes out. Again, the book releases May 18th, 2021. And any updates on the book, anything new that comes out, will be posted here as soon as possible. So subscribe if you have not. Do not miss a single one of those coming out hopefully very soon. And until next time, guys, have fun, stay safe, and as always, happy gaming.